So Maria walked 3 kilometers west, so I have to start off with where Maria is. Let's say Maria is right there. So Maria starts, say, right here, and she walks 3 kilometers west. So that'd be east, so this would be west. So she walks 3 kilometers west, and then she walks 4 kilometers south. So now she's here. Now she's here. So the question is, how far is it from here to here? Well, when we label, she started here, she went 3 kilometers west, she walked, and then she went 4 kilometers south. Because she walked straight west, straight south, that's going to make 90 degrees, and then we can use Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is c squared, to find the hypotenuse. Or you might recognize it's 3, 4, and then that'd be 5. So I'd say Maria walked 5 kilometers from, no, she didn't walk, she actually walked, she walked 8 kilometers, but Maria is 8 kilometers from her starting point. And the reason why is when you set this up, this is C, and so you set it up, you go 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 9 plus 16 is 25. So you get 25 equals C squared. You take the square root, and you get C is 5. So this should actually be 5. From here to here. Find the perimeter of the triangle below. In order to find the perimeter, I need to take 40 plus 9 plus whatever the hypotenuse is. Since I don't know what the hypotenuse is, I have to find it. So this is going to be my C for hypotenuse. So I set it up and I say, okay, this is a leg, that's hypotenuse, so I go 40 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. If you type 40 squared in your calculator and you add on 9 squared, you get 1,681. We get 1,681 is equal to C squared. And then to undo C squared, we take the square root. So square root of 1,681 equals C. Type that in my calculator. And I get 41. So I got C as 41. So then the perimeter will equal 40 plus 9 plus 41 equals 90. Okay, we're supposed to find the perimeter of the trapezoid. We know this is 6, this is 9. We need to find this length. We need to find this length. And so we could separate this into a shape that we do understand. And so if I separate this into a rectangle and a right triangle. So now I know, because this is straight horizontal and that's straight vertical, that this is 90 degrees. And then from there, we can start labeling things. Well, if that's 6, then this down here's got to be 6. If this is 9, then that's got to be 9. By definition of a rectangle. And so really I just got to look at this triangle here, and 60 degrees, what we know about, if you start with 60 degrees, then we know that this is going to be the hypotenuse, this is going to be the short leg down here, up here will be the hypotenuse, and across from 60 is the long leg. So the long leg is right there. Alright, so if you start with 60 degrees, and that's all you know is the 9, to go from long leg to short leg, long leg equals, or short leg equals long leg divided by square root of 3. So I know that short leg is equal to 9 divided by the square root of 3. So if I do that work real fast, 9 divided by the square root of 3, I have to rationalize that. That means I have to multiply both of them by square root of 3. And so then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3. And then 9 times square root of 3 is 9 square root of 3. And then 9 divided by 3 makes 3. So all of this just to get 3, radical 3. So I just found that from here to here is 3 radical 3. So this is 3 square root of 3. Now to go from short leg to hypotenuse, that's easy. You just multiply by 2. So the hypotenuse is going to be 6 radical 3. And then to get my perimeter, I'm going to add the 6 plus the 9 plus the 6 plus the 3 square root of 3 plus the 6 square root of 3, and see what I get. Notice you don't add the 9 because it's on the inside of the radical. So if I add 9 plus 6, that's 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. So I'd get 21. 9 plus 6 plus 6, 12 plus 9, 21. And then I could take 6 radical 3 plus 3 radical 3 would be 9 radical 3. You get 21 plus 9 radical 3. That's my perimeter. Alright, so we're going to find the value of x. And the only number they give us is this 8. And so seeing this notation, that means that's 8, that's 8, that's 8, that's 8. All of those are 8. So I could go ahead and say, okay, this is 8. And this is 8. We learned that if the legs are the same, then that means that this angle right here is 45 degrees. Which also means this angle is 45 degrees. And so we know that we have, this is 90, so that's 90, and that's 90. So we have a right triangle. We know the legs are 8, and this, so if you have a 45, 45, 90, and you have the legs, you just multiply by square root of 2. So I would say x is equal to 8 times square root of 2. And there's your answer. So they want us to find the value of x. We're going to start with 12 and 6 to find this. And then once we have the red, we can use the red and the 14 to find x. So let's let this be a. So we'll say a squared I'll say a squared plus 6 squared equals 12 squared. A squared stays a squared. 6 squared is 36. 12 squared is 144. I subtract off 36 from both sides. To get a squared. The 144 minus 36 108. So that means A equals the square root of 108. And you can simplify that, but I'm just going to leave it as 108 for now. I'm going to wait till the end to simplify. So all I found so far is that 108 goes here. I could then use a squared plus b squared is c squared. So that'd be square root of 108 plus x. I need to square this. Plus x squared equals 14 squared. And the reason why I left that a square root of 108 is because square root of 108 and a square cancel. So I'm left with just 108. Plus x squared. And then 14 times 14, 196. I take 196 minus 108, and I get 88, so x squared equals 88. Take the square root of both sides, and I get x equals the square root of 88. You could either simplify that, write it as a decimal, depending on what the question's asking. I'm going to leave it as square root of 88 just for sake of time. So we have an isosceles right triangle. So that means it's 90 degrees with two sides that are the same. So I'll draw me a triangle here. So right triangle means straight up and down. And then right. There's my isosceles right triangle. And so what does that mean? That means that these two are the same. So this equals this. That also means in an isosceles right triangle that this is 45 degrees, and so is this. So they tell us the hypotenuse is 8 square root of 2. They're telling me that this goes here. What is the length of the legs? So what is x? Well, if you start with the hypotenuse and you're going to a leg, you take this number divided by square root of 2. So I'm going to take 8 square root of 2 divided by square root of 2. These are going to cancel, and so you just get equals 8. So I would say the legs of the triangle are each 8. We have a toy, and it's a series of isosceles right triangles. So that means that's isosceles right, this is isosceles right, all four triangles are isosceles right. If AB equals 2, and that's all they're going to tell me, that AB equals 2. So AB equals 2. If this is isosceles right, that means that's 2. Which means that this is going to be 2 square root of 2. So this is going to be 2 radical 2. Well, if this is 2 radical 2, then this is 2 radical 2. So then to find this, I have to take 2 square root of 2 times square root of 2 to find that. So let me think, what is 2 square root of 2 times square root of 2? What is 2 square root of 2 times square root of 2? The square roots cancel, making 2, so that's 2 times 2 is 4. Now I know this is 4. So that's also 4. If that's 4 and that's 4, then that's 4 square root of 2 right here. If that's 4 square root of 2, then this is 4 square root of 2. And then this would be 4 square root of 2 times square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2. So this is really saying what's 4 times 2? That's 8. So all of this just to get 8. And then they ask, find AC, BC, CD, CF, BD, DE, EF, and DF. That would be everything I just found. And then you would list out each of those.